Welcome to Booked, the bookseller education podcast brought to you by the American Booksellers Association. This episode is part of our Free Expression Friday series from ABA's American Booksellers for Free Expression. David Landry from the CLASS Bookstore, co-owner and founder in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
How are you doing? We're here in person. We're at a reception at Winter Institute 2025. Yes. How's it been so far?
It's been great.
Yeah.
We did Ignite, the first one ever, centering BIPOC booksellers.
Yeah.
And I think it was a smash. I think that definitely room to grow.
Yeah.
And next year it'll be even better.
Yeah. Awesome. And I mean, connecting with other booksellers right now and just comparing notes, I mean, I wish I could say we're living in unprecedented times, but actually it feels more like the eternal return of the same, right?
Yeah.
So how is that, what does it mean to be here with other booksellers right now and just talking through it?
So, me and my wife, the other co-owner of CLASS, Dara, we live for things like this. We love being in community with our fellow colleagues, with people who understand the power of what we bring. Not to put ourselves lofty, right, on this crazy pedestal.
Yeah.
But we do understand the gravity of what we do and what we represent. So to be around other people from different walks of life, from different cities and places, countries, even religious backgrounds, it's been a privilege and an honor to be able to be and to learn from them too.
Yeah.
And because when you walk in a space and everybody's doing the same thing but not in the same way, you can learn from them, and you can go back to your home, go back to your village or wherever, and bring those things back to them, and hopefully they'll help to expand what it is that you do.
Yeah. So let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Tell me about the store.
Yeah.
How did it come about? How did you get here?
2015, I read an article on a website, aalbc.com. And the founder of the website wrote an article called the Decline and Plight of the Black-Owned Bookstore in America. At the time that the article was written, there were less than 50 Black-owned bookstores in the entire United States.
Yeah.
And that number was declining. Okay? And, of course, Amazon was wrecking shop.
Yeah.
And I looked at Dara looked at me, and we were like, we have to do something about this. Because that's the type of people we are. What can we do to solve this issue, or at least help to move the needle in the other direction? So we had just got married, and we started traveling different places, right? So we would go, for example, we would go to New Orleans, and we would chop it up with Community Book Center. Community Book Center has been open since 1985. I was born in 1984. And we talked to Mama Vera, we talked to Mama Jennifer, and we were like, how is it that y'all are still open? We went to L.A., shout out to SO1, James Fugate, and Mr. Sam. The store's no longer open, but when we went there, we were like, yo, how is it that, asking the same question over and over and over again. And different places like Shades of Africa in Long Beach. Where else did we go? DC. We went to Sankofa in DC. Yeah. We went to Shrine of Black Madonna in Houston, where we from. And we just went to all these different bookstores, and we just asked them the same questions like, yo, how is it that y'all have been able to survive as long as you have? And they all said the same thing. 3 things. Number 1, if you're going into somebody's community, give back to it. Number 2, if you are selling books, sell the books that people want. And number 3, be consistent in your hours. When we were at SO1, he gave us a list of things. He was like practical things.
Yeah.
He was like, get your LLC, get your bank account, business bank account, join the ABA.
Yeah.
Join the Regional Bookseller Association that you're in. And then he gave us a bunch of other things, right? And we took those things. It took us 5 years to do it.
Yeah.
Because when it came down to it, it was like, okay, we have to have the bread. We have to have the money to open. And so 2020, we was like, okay, we finally in a place where we can put some money down. And then the pandemic hit. So then we joined this program right before the pandemic. And then the day of the first meeting of the program, they shut down the city.
Yeah.
So everything had to be switched from in-person to digital to Zoom. It was a 10-week program. So everything had to be changed. But we were able to adapt to that. And really, the bookstore has just been adaptability, like adapting. They told us we was going to be able to have, a chance to apply for a bunch of money. That money dried up because the organization that was going to give the money changed their whole mainframe. But that organization, the EEDC, the Emancipation Economic Development Council, said we need a bookstore in Third Ward. It's like, all right, cool. So they found some money. They found $1,000. And it was like, here, boom. So we took that money and we were like, okay, since we still on lockdown, let's build our website. Let's buy a thermal printer machine for labels. And let's buy the shipping material so that we can ship books to people. And we bought a few books. One day after that, after we made those purchases, my wife calls me in the room and she's like, yo, they just upgraded our credit card. They gave us more on our limits. They extended to $800. We spent the $800 on inventory. I took pictures of all the books when they came in, put them on the website. And in November of 2020, we had our virtual store opening. We was on Instagram. We made the announcement, hey, come shop with us in November. We're going to be online. The city was still on lock. People was ordering books from us. So we're delivering books with masks, gloves, and hand sanitizer. And we're putting packages on people's porch during the pandemic. And after the state opened up, because Greg Abbott, our governor, opened the state up in January 2021. So we were like, okay, how does that affect us? How are we going to get out and sell these books? So then we had some homies, my best friend, Dominique, and his wife, Brandy, were like, hey, we organize vendor markets around the city. Come do a vendor market with us. So the very first vendor market was Martin Luther King Day of 2021. My wife was away for her day job on a work thing, and I was in the parking lot of this vendor market. I said a prayer. I was like, God, if this is what you want for us to do, show up. I had a box of books, one box. And I took the books in there. We didn't even have a sign. We didn't have business cards. We didn't have anything. We just had a black tablecloth, a table and a chair, and we had these books. At the end of the market, we had sold over $480 worth of books.
Wow.
And we did, and we looked around and we noticed the traffic was not going to any of these other vendors. It was going to us though, because they were like, wait, you sell books? Yes. Do y'all have a brick and mortar? No. This is we right here. What are y'all name? We're CLASS Bookstore, classbookstore.com and Instagram. That was the only thing we had at the time. From that point on, every month for 2 years straight, we did 2 to 3 pop-ups, and it was relentless. Some pop-ups were dope. We make like $1,000, $1,500. Sometimes we make our vendor feedback, and that's it.
Yeah.
But the ebbs and flows, me and my wife, we were together through the fire, through the flames. And September of 2022, 2023, my bad. We got our space, we got the keys for our physical space. And the way we got that, we made a connection with a brother by the name of Herbert Addison. He was the youth pastor at our church. This is 10 years ago.
Wow.
So he was going on his journey. he ended up becoming the chaplain for a program called the Wesley Foundation, which was at Texas Southern University. He calls my wife. He asks her for some help with some logistics because that's what she does at her job.
Okay.
And so as she's getting ready to leave, she's like, what you gonna do with these 3 little houses you got here? Mm-hmm. He's like, man, you know, these used to be off-campus housing for students, but I'm gonna convert them into commercial spaces. He like, so she was like, okay, well, you need to give us one of these so we can do a pop-up one day. Mm-hmm. He said, I'll do you one better. I'll sign up a lease for you right now. I'll sign a lease for you right now. So they went in the office, boom, signed the paperwork. I'm at my day job. Dara called me. She say, David, I think I found CLASS Bookstore. I'm like, what do you mean? And then she sends me a video. She sends me this video, and it's a walkthrough of the space. Mm-hmm. She's like, David, do you believe in the power of prayer? I'm like, of course I do. She's like, yo, we need to take advantage of this. We saw the price. We was like, man, we can't get a commercial space cheaper than this. We would be stupid to leave this behind. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, remember, we did this program with the EEDC. They helped us to create and develop a business plan. In our business plan, we said year 5 would be the time for a brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. This was in year 2 of us being open as a business. So now we're asked the question. Okay, are you ready? Yeah, we ready. We gonna do this. Mm-hmm. And it took us a few months. I cashed out my 401k. Literally, cashed out my 401k. Took that, bought the supplies, called my homeboy Andy. Mm-hmm. Hey man, I know you're a carpenter by trade. He said, I'm on the road. That boy got on the road from Dallas-Fort Worth area, drove to Houston, stayed with his mama for a week, and he built out our store. He would work 12-hour days every day. I'd be at the day job. He would be at the shop building, and he'd be like, okay, this is what I did today. Here's the receipts. This is what I did the next day. Here's the receipts. Built out our store by himself, drove back up to Dallas-Fort Worth. Wow. Bring that all full circle. December 3rd, we opened our brick and mortar, and the rest is history. We started going to we was already down with ABA, so it was like, okay, what does it look like for us to go to a Winter Institute? Mm-hmm. We started going to our regional stuff just to kind of get a taste for it. It was like, okay, cool. Got popping in our region, wearing flashy fly stuff like we got on, like the Sell Books Not Cocaine t-shirts. That was a blast. Then we came through with the shirts, buy from the brother man, not the other man. We had the little Amazon logo on the bottom. Like just different things like that to catch people's eye. Hey, like we out here and we're doing something. Yeah, we selling books, but we doing it in a way that is attractive and appealing, right? And so we here now. This is our second Winter Institute. We've been to our regionals, Fall Con and Spring Con a couple times each. We've been to Children's Institute. We're going back this summer to Portland. So that's really the story. I mean, there's a lot of other intricacies as well. But that's pretty much, in a nutshell, the story of CLASS Bookstore.
And so many things stand out to me in what you just said, but one of them is that the right infusion of money at the right time was something that you could do so much with. And part of the reason I'm thinking about that right now is because we're seeing so much funding for the arts dry up or be used as a wedge to force people to only say or think certain things.
I'm going to tell you why. So my father, he used to say it like this. He said, usually in societies, schools, etc., organizations, the arts is the first one to get is the first thing that is rid of. Mm-hmm. But the arts teach us about ourselves. Mm-hmm. When you think about those ancient societies, ancient Egyptian, ancient Greek, ancient Roman, and they made these plays, right? Mm-hmm. Like when we look at Aeschylus or Sophocles, these Greek writers, right? Those plays taught those Greek societies about themselves. But when you take that out of the society, you're not learning about yourself. You're just not.
Yeah.
And so the reason why the arts literacy, all that is attacked, first is because if you have an uneducated people, those people are easily run through. Those people are easily destroyed. Those people are easily done away with because the lack of knowledge is equivalent to destruction.
To bring it full circle, you said at the beginning that 2015, the decline of the Black-owned bookstore was ongoing, and there were so few Black-owned bookstores left. I think you said fewer than 50?
Yeah, like there at that time there was not enough to be one in every United States.
Yeah. And I was talking to Janine Cook a couple weeks ago, who is the shopkeeper of Harriet's Bookstore and Ida's Bookstore and Josephine's Bookstore and more, doing these amazing pop-ups. And she put it, there is a public health crisis for small businesses in general, and especially Black-owned small businesses.
Yeah.
How can people support Black-owned bookstores and Black-owned small businesses all year round, not just during Black History Month? Because there's a paradox there, right?
Yeah.
Because, great, people are talking about Black history, thinking about Black history to the extent that non-Black people are, that white people are during that month, and then what happens for the rest of the year?
Okay. So it's a multi-pronged thing, and I'm gonna share all the different prongs. So the first prong is, and this is the lowest base level.
Yeah.
Gift cards. Every bookstore that I know that's here that's Black got gift cards in some capacity, whether it's an e-gift card on the website or it's an in-person or both. We have both. Buy a gift card. $5. You can start at $5 all the way. Like most companies, they let you buy up to $5,000. Buy your gift card. Buy a gift card. Send it to somebody you love, or just buy it and just don't even think about it. We have a customer right now who every month comes to the store and he buys $25 gift cards. That's $100, right? The strategy is, I'm giving you this gift card so that you can go in there, and yeah, you might have to spend a little bit of your own money, but it helps to move the bar, right? So that's the basic level. Secondly, if you don't consider yourself a reader, think about the person, think about the child that you love, and buy a book for them. And you can do that easily. Most books for children range from $3.99, $4.99, all the way up to $19.99. If it's one of those picture books, right? Boom. Think of the person who is an adult in your life that loves to read, even if you're not a reader. Buy a book for them. And then, if you're like, I really don't want to spend no money on books like that, okay, find what kind of merch they got. Most bookstores, they have sidelines. Buy a t-shirt, buy a baseball cap, buy a sticker, a lapel pin, something, right? Because and make that a habit. Because the thing is, we can find a Starbucks and go spend on the chocolate mocha froca latte, and we do it willingly. Why don't we take that, turn it around, and put that in your favorite bookstore in your community? And finally, support year-round. Find out if there's a way, if they have a nonprofit they might have a nonprofit arm. Set a recurring payment to their nonprofit.
And those recurring payments are so important because it lets people plan.
Yep.
It lets people know what's going to come in.
There you go.
And I love how practical these tips are. And it reminds me of the tips that you said that you got when you were going around the country talking to Black bookstore owners.
Yeah.
It's, consistent hours.
Yeah.
It's just all of these really basic things. And people can do this. People can start now.
Oh, yeah. They can start today. They don't have to wait.
No.
And like you said, continually perpetuating it throughout the year. And once you do that, you're like, I don't miss that $20 that get drafted out of my account. I don't miss that cup of coffee that I used to get, but now I buy gift cards with it. I don't miss it.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. Simple like that.
David Landry, CLASS Bookstore. Hey.
Thank you, Philomena. I appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Thank you for everything you do and for your time.